All right, let's hope this works. All right, it works. All right. So apparently here at the Deerwood campground, their wireless is not that good. So I am actually on data. So hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper. I am Friar Tuck, live from the Florida Trail. So I wanted to say thank you to all of you who helped me get here. For all of you that have been supporting me the whole time along and all this other stuff, I want to say thank you. Okay, so let me should chat view. Okay. Okay guys. Anyways, today was probably one of the longest hikes that I have done. I am absolutely exhausted. My brain is not functioning. And in order to be able to make it in a reasonable amount of time, I made sure that I didn't even stop for a break to eat. Up until probably maybe 30 minutes ago, I'd had maybe 300 calories all day. And I did a little over 20 miles. It's kind of fun. Hey there in chat, how are you? Just to make sure that chat's working, will you say something, please? But anyways, man, I've got to tell you, this Florida Trail, it's fun, but it has its obstacles. It is not nearly as grueling as being on a bike. So here's some things that I learned. You know, being on a bike versus being on foot is that at least, you know, being on foot on the Florida Trail or when I get up into the other trails, I can go as far and as slow or as fast as I want. I should be doing at least a minimum. Hi, Tom. All right. So I should be able to go at least, you know, a minimum of 10 miles a day, maximum of 20 to 25 days. Hi, Rachel. How are you? Thank you for everybody that did participate in helping me get this. This is what you guys helped me get. So I am actually, as you see, I'm tied to this. First thing I did is I said, you know what, I haven't done a live stream in quite some time. And you know, being out here, this might be my only opportunity for quite some time. So those of you that that enjoy my live streams, you know, I miss you guys too. So, but you know, being out on a trail versus being on a bike, you know, again, you know, you can move at your own pace when you're on trail versus a bike. You know, you're stuck because you got to do a lot of stealth camping. So with being on trail, there are designated camp spots along the way. Now, this is not necessarily an anomaly. This is how the Florida Trail kind of does the economic like contribution to the state, so that the state can get its tax money, so that it can, you know, afford the Florida Trail. Is every once in a while it's going to put you off and force you to, you know, to pay to play. And I mean, I could have done that, and you know, it's great, but for the most part, you know, other than tonight's probably the only pace I'm going to see until I get around McCord Air Force Base, which is going to be on the other side of Tallahassee. Now, let's see here. You know, being on bike though, when you wake up like at 6 o'clock in the morning. Do you prefer a trail and its proximity to urban sites, or do you prefer the more urban sites? Honestly, as long as I have water and about every 20 miles I can jump into a city, so that if I need to get supplies, because, you know, when you first start out in the beginning of the day, your pack feels light, but by the time midday comes, your pack starts getting heavy. You didn't add any more weight to it, you just start feeling the weight of it. No, I'm not gonna carry a gun, and you know, so, but anyways, you know, keeping on track, you know, with the trail, I prefer the trail because I get to move at my own pace. When I was doing a bike, I had to do a minimum of like 40 to 50 miles a day between cities. I was, you know, there are some little scenic trails that you can, if you want to be able to stay close to resources, you end up on the freeway or on the highways and stuff like that. And then when it comes time to go to sleep, you're looking for a bush. There was a couple of times I could have gotten some felonies because I accidentally got into a school zone, you know, and I'm telling you, that's when you got a sheriff coming by, and then you walk out and you see that there's the school sign, you're like, oh crap, I missed it, because you're trying to pay attention to it. But when you get tired, you get sloppy. When you get exhausted, it's very hard to kind of keep yourself going and be mentally aware. So, especially on a bike, it took a lot more energy from me than being on the hike. The hike actually does more to my muscles than it does to my energy level. But I also have a lot of anxiety, and walking and pacing is something that I've done for so many years. It's nothing new to me. So it's something that I enjoy. Now that I've kind of had the opportunity to experience both, what do I prefer? I love a bike for speed, and it doesn't, my feet aren't hurting. I'm closer to resources sometimes, especially when I need them. But once I started learning the Florida Trail and kind of learning where the jump off points are and where the water resources are and stuff like that, it stopped being such a big deal. Okay. So, again, I prefer bugging out. Like, if you're going to bug out, don't, and you're going to do a pack, don't take the highways, don't take the byways and stuff like that, because one, you're going to be having the same problems with stealth camping that you have with biking. But also, when I was biking, there was a couple of times where I was tracked through the county by a county sheriff. It's like one would follow me for a while and just keep coming by and checking on me, and then the other one would pick up at another point and then follow me out to the time I was out. Now, was I doing anything nefarious? Did I look like I was some crazy or somebody like that? No, I didn't. I look like your typical biker. But the thing is they know that bikers are going to jump into a bush, and although with stealth camping, you leave no trace, and that's good, but with a bike, I mean, again, you have the biggest obstacles for you are, one, maintaining your energy, and two, finding camping spots. And so you can't jump into a camping spot until maybe like an hour from right now, when the sun starts going down and nobody can really see you, you can barely see in the light, there's just barely any light left. Then you can jump into a bush, but and then you got to sit there and figure out what bush do you want to jump into. Where's a good spot? Because some places here in Florida, it's so swampy and it's so thick, it's kind of hard to find a place to really jump in. And so you're going, if your plan is to make like 40 miles for the day, you end up doing 55 just looking for a spot, because you're trying to get in and get out. Now, if let's use a specific scenario. Now, if there were nukes coming, and I knew, and you knew that you were close to an area that may be nuked, and you don't have the advance warning to get out, well then yes, I would say, a bike is going to be your best bet, because you're going to get the most distance and the most time, but you're pushing yourself for like 3 days. Okay. You know what, Rachel, I will tell you, it is very hard. It is, because the thing is on a bike, it's even harder than it is walking. Walking, I see a camp spot, I start feeling hungry, I'm moving at my own pace, I can stop in the middle, sit on a stump, because there's a lot of fallen trees. I can sit on a stump, and then I can pull out my snack. So I have one part of my bag where I put my snack, so I have ease of access to it, and then the other part of my bag is where my breakfast and my dinner is. But I have a hard time eating breakfast. But either way, you're still going to have to pick up about 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day, whether you're on bike or whether you're walking. Now, the walking, you're going to make 20 miles on those 4,000 calories, versus biking, you're going to make about 40 to 50 miles on those same 4,000 calories. Okay. So, and you got to find things that, because here's the thing, you get hot, especially there was times here when the temperatures you get in the high 80s, low 90s, even in the winter here in Florida, and you're hot. You're in the direct sun, plus you're exercising, so that even makes you even hotter, and so your desire to eat becomes much, it's not, you don't want to eat. It's hard to eat. And so just like today, I had 300 calories for breakfast, and I didn't eat for another like 10 hours. Now I could do that here because, you know, I'm going short distances and stuff like that. But if I tried to do that on a bike, I would have fallen out by the end of mile 15. You know, into a 45-mile thing there. So okay. Sorry if this is a stoner thought. What about small sailboat? You know what? I was just thinking about that. You know, that was one of the things I'm thinking about was, you know, after I get done doing the trails, and this channel gets monetized, because we're 210, at least last time I checked, we're 210 away from having the 1,000 subscribers I need, and we're about 250 hours or less away from the 4,000 watch hours that I need. So we're very, very close, and I want to see if we can reach that in the next 45 days or less. But yeah, once I get monetized, I was thinking, yeah, once I get done with the trails and stuff like that, and I get my fill of that, I might want to grab myself a sailboat and start sailing around the world, because but the thing is each has its own cost. This is what you really gotta, whether you're taking a car, you know, you've got your maintenance, you've got your fuel, you've got the places that are open to you to be able to securely and safely sleep at night. Same thing with backpacking. You got to make sure you have the right gear. You got to make sure that the gear works for you. Thanks, Tom. You know, 2-pound jars of peanut butter. Yeah, but imagine carrying that though. Put that on your back. By the end of the day, you're not going to like it. But I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of like a 2-pound can of soup, because I haven't eaten it. I was supposed to eat it last night for dinner, but I wasn't really that hungry, so I didn't eat it. And so now I'm carrying that, and I get to feel it. And I mean, I've taken as much weight out of my bag as possible. But when you're backpacking, if that's going to be how you bug out, then, you know, you've got to look at the costs in that. Like, every once in a while, you may have to pay to get into a place, but you can, you know, in a way, you can be incognito. You can jump in and jump out. And if you're trying to kind of like move and be unseen, backpacking is the way for you to go. But, you know, the thing is you got to make sure that you can carry the food, and you're going to have to stop into a city every couple of days. So as much as you want to sit there and say, oh yeah, I got a 20-year food supply, well, you can't carry that on your back, especially if you got to be on the move, whether it be for climate, whether it be for war, or whether it be for another reason. Okay. You can't carry that food with you. Now on a bike, now that's something like if you want to get far, you want to get fast, but you know, you have your obstacles there. That's going to cost you not only the bike, but the gear. And then you've also got to make sure that you are not, you know, the one problem I had with my bike is that it was too nice to be in the crowd that I was trying to intermingle with. And because of that, it actually made me a target, and people were planning on taking my bike. A guy admitted that to me, that he was planning on trying to take my bike from me when after I traded it away, of course. But you know, you've got these different ways. Everything has its own costs, has its own obstacles, has its own benefit. And really what you need to be doing, if you're planning for your bug out and you're planning to, you know, figure out a way, do I want to do it on a bike? Do I want to do it on a car? Do I want to do it this way or that way? What are your funds like? Like when shit hits the fan, do you have other means of income? You know, like if you're a tradesman, you know, you'll always be able to find something. But if you don't have very many skills, or if your skills really aren't in need, especially for the climate of or the environment that we are in at that time, your skills may not be able to get you from point A to point B. Okay, so I mean, you really got to look at it from a logistical standpoint, and then kind of figure out what it is that you want to do. What scenario are you preparing for? Are you preparing for a Mad Max situation? Okay, well, if you're preparing for Mad Max, you're probably going to want like some sort of motorized bike so that you can be on and go, because like a motorcycle will get you a lot farther on a lot less gas, which means that you need a lot less money. Okay. Plan for a backpack, then work up to a bike, then a car, It's a game of progression as you can. But again, Professor, if you're planning for a backpack and you've got nukes coming at you and you didn't plan for a bike, you know what I mean? So a lot of this is, we're playing a game of Russian roulette, okay? And when you play, how do you decide on where to go and when to get there? Are we talking about on a bike, or are we talking about with a backpack? So, and if you prepare for Mad Max, you're already covered for a tornado too. Yeah, you pretty much are, Alfred. So, I mean, when you're preparing for all this stuff, it's something that you as an individual really have to take a point and just really figure out what it is that you want to do. So, the way that I see things going on is let's look at what's going on between the war over in Europe. We'll just call it that so that I don't get this video taken down. Okay. So, okay. And so, you know what? It's up to you. How do you want to do it? Like here in Florida, you're within a few miles of the Florida Trail. And the Florida Trail also connects as part of the East Coast Trail, which will take you through the Alabama trails up into the AT, which will take you all the way up into Canada. There's also, I haven't found any of the East-West trails, but there probably should be in some form or fashion. And you may want to just take a Greyhound to the next trail, and that may be your next bet, just to kind of get you going if you have the opportunity. But, deciding where and when to go, that's a personal decision. I can't really tell you which one to do or which one not to do because it's completely up to you. Now, the situation that I see happening is you realize for the last 70 years that the United States has been planning to defeat Russia. Okay, that has been part of our doctrine since the Cold War, and even post-Cold War, we've always had this thing against Russia. Okay, and so if we ever get into a war with Russia, what'll end up happening is, because our doctrine is geared towards defeating them and their doctrine is geared towards defending against us, we will most likely win the offensive, because it's much easier to be on offense than it is to be on defense. Okay, and so what their plan Z is, if their defenses ever do get overwhelmed, then they're going to send nukes. So then you got to wonder, like, where are they going to send nukes to? Where are they most likely to send nukes to? Major military bases. They're probably not going to go after cities. But, with what the military's been doing over the last few years, like in San Antonio, and I believe even in Houston and some other cities, we've got the military practicing urban warfare in our cities. And like there's been news reports about it and stuff like that. You should definitely look at it. But at the end of the day, if we push Russia, we go to war with Russia, we're going to defeat Russia on the battlefield. But at the end of the game, lose the battle, win the war. And that's really what will end up happening. And then you've also got to look at the Asian theater now, because now that China sees that we are pushing Russia in the European war, suicide pods for the homeless and disabled. Yes, I've heard that. But anyways, with the China, the Asian theater, they are completely geared up towards defeating our Navy. So if the Russians could defeat our land forces and the Chinese can beat our Navy, and they are friends, they are partners. They made a deal, I think, back in either the late 50s or early 60s, that they would band together as their own alliance in the next World War, because they saw they wanted to pre-position themselves. See, the United States already realized, well, we won, so we just need to keep our power. But, anybody who knows anything knows what goes up goes down. Okay? So these are some things that you really got to think about, what you really got to look at long term, if that makes any sense. So, Rachel, I hope I answered your questions. And Rick, nice to see you. I haven't seen Thomas in here. Alfred's in here. The professor's in here. Okay. Oh, wow. I'm surprised we haven't seen Thomas. Hey, did you guys know that Hobo Thomas actually has his own has his own YouTube channel, and it's actually pretty good. You guys should go over there and watch it if you haven't already. If you ever see him in the comments, because he always comments on all my videos, make sure that you just click on his icon, and it'll take you to his channel. You guys should definitely check it out. It's entertaining. I enjoyed it. So, but do you guys have any questions for me as far as, what I'm doing, any, things like that, or, future plans, or how I'm packing? Because quite frankly, I am the worst backpacker in the world, and I'm finding this out the hard way. So, do you have a bucket list kind of thing where you decide on where to go and how to get there? Or do you make decisions on travel based upon more reasonable, you know what? That's a good question, and I don't know how to answer that one, because a bucket list, I don't really have a bucket list, just like I'll never have a midlife crisis. I've done a lot of the things that I've always wanted to do, never really had any issues there. I've always, I've had a very fulfilling life. How did I decide what to pack with me? Well, it was besides my bike gear, it was my bike gear. I just transferred it over into a backpack is really what happened. But then because of my tent and my saddlebags being stolen when I went into the cold night shelter, I didn't get to keep the things that were really important, because that tent, I'm telling you, it's going to rain here on Friday, and I got to figure out a way to get some shelter or find a bridge and hunker under it for the day or whatever I got to do, because I don't, my poncho was even in there. And so I haven't gotten funds together to be able to do my poncho. So, just a guess, let's see. I now carry a half-gallon jug, and I fill it up. See, there was some problems that I had with water. First problem I had was that, so my bike water bottle that I had, plastic sucks. Don't use plastic, use metal. Use whatever cup you can, okay? On a bike, it's one thing, but the amount of cleaning that's got to be done, and sanitation that's got to be done to that, over a short period of time, those plastic bottles will go to hell. That was part of my problem with the water jacking up my stomach. The other thing is that I was cross-contaminating the water that I was filtering, because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, because I was just I was filtering it, boiling it, filtering it, thinking, oh, everything's going to be fine, not really thinking about the ramifications of what I was doing. So carrying all that extra water, now that I know that I can jump off about every 20 miles, that half-gallon jug, I will probably end up drinking it all going into a city, and then I will fill it up. And I've just started going to the filtered water, because one thing I've noticed is that, these cities, they have filtered potable water, but it's not as potable as you think it is. Because when I got away from the filtered water and back onto potable water, it started jacking up my stomach again. So I've just decided that I'm going to do bottled water. Now, I will tell you that I can tell the taste difference between the different waters. I could taste the bleach and the iodine that they put in these bottles of water. And quite frankly, those are disgusting. I think Zephyr Hills is the worst offender. Yes, I have a water purifier, but because it was outside with me during Christmas, I didn't realize that it actually froze the membranes, and that's another reason why I had trouble with filtering. I thought it being in my saddlebags would be fine, but that may not be the case. But I've still got to do a little bit more testing on it, but I think that what ended up happening was, because I used it once before, and then I have not used it since, this is the first time I've used it since October, okay? And now I'm finding out, oh, crap, I didn't take care of it as good as $80 worked great on the entire eastern seaboard. That's good, because I like the Sawyer and everything. Everybody uses a Sawyer, but I want something that's always going to give me confidence. And what happens if I'm up somewhere in the winter and I can't keep my filter clean, and I need that filter because of all the chemicals and stuff that are in the water? I think that's a big drawback for a water filter. And I think that when you're doing your research on water filters, that's one thing that you should really look into. People always overpack for the trail. Trail days equals free stuff people buy. And yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I dropped my pair of jeans. It's the only thing I've been able to drop, because if I drop anything else, because right now I have 2 cans of propane, okay, and one of them's almost gone. I have, because, you know, I go to Walmart to get them, and it's going to be a long time before I get to Walmart. I probably won't be able to get to Walmart again until, let's say, Tallahassee, okay? So, you know, I have my cook pot, which that's important for me. Then I have my pillow, my sleeping bag, and I got rid of my sleeping pad, thinking that it would, you know, I didn't need it because it's going to warm up. And I got myself, somebody actually gave it to me. It's called a Zero Foxtrot. They call them Woobies, but it's basically, it's a quilt, and it's just as good as my 20-degree sleeping bag. Quite frankly, I put that over my sleeping bag in these 30-degree nights, man, and I sleep warm like it's like a 60-degree night. It's nice. So, you know, that's one of the things that I really have come to like. So, gravity filtration system comes with a small bag to carry in. Nice. And then let's see, California. Okay. Can be free water filter, can be frozen, still be safe. Okay. I'm gonna have to look that up. I got to figure out ways to, there's a lot of stuff that I need to look up that I haven't had a chance, either because I'm on the trail. Like for the last couple of days, the video that was released earlier today, the first one, not the short, that took me since I left the Hamilton Creek campground, and I went through like a battery and a half to 2 batteries just trying to upload it. There was a point where you reach a complete dead zone out there. You can't get cell signal. I mean, trying to pull up the interactive map, if it wasn't for other people who actually prepaid for maps, and as they were passing me because I'm moving kind of slow with my foot, if it wasn't for all of that, I think I would have been much more lost than I was, because it wasn't until today. If I would have gone another 3 miles down last night on the trail to the next campsite, I would have never had any issues with my signal, because I crossed to the south side of I-10, and so I've been following I-10 for the last day or so, day and a half. Okay, so can you receive anything in a business address so you could send you a pack? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Rachel. Here's the thing. I'm working on. I'm just now getting the trail figured out to like where the different cities are. Pretty soon, I will put out a video, and just keep an eye on my videos, and I will tell you, okay, so I'm going to be here in about a week. If you're going to send me something, send it to general delivery in this direction, and then I will just mosey my way on there. And, you know, I need to start being realistic, because it might take me 2 weeks to get there. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I could do 20 miles. No, I'm actually 10 to 15 is about good for me, especially with my feet, the way they've been kind of jacked up. Okay. So, you know, that's one thing. So, let's say, any other questions, guys? You guys have them coming in today. So I will, when that happens, but you got to realize, when you send me stuff, you really got to be weight conscious. If you're going to send me food, send me an email of a list of the food or that you want to send, if you think I should get it. If you do, then I can tell you, no, I can't, that's going to be too heavy. Okay. Because I've really, you know, like I said, the first part of the day, my pack feels light. It's maybe 25 pounds. Cause, well, I got a sleeping bag, my quilt, I've got my pillow, and all that weighs like 4 pounds tops. And then another 3 pounds for my 2 cans of propane and my cook set. And then my water filter weighs almost nothing. I've got my first aid kit, which has been a godsend to me, because I'm still having to drain that toe. And you know, it's kind of, I'm keeping it under control, but a lot of it is I have to be very proactive. And so, you know, the first aid kit. So you want to have a lot of alcohol swabs, quite a few Band-Aids. I don't know about burn kits. I mean, you know, I have some burn stuff in there if I need it. You know, another thing that every time I get, somebody always takes it. The best method to send me money, Patrick, is to send it to me through CashApp, which is $Osiris, OSIRIS cleaning, which is my old business that I had to shut down in 21. that is, you'll see a picture of a yellow and black saddlebag with the park sticker on it. That's how you know it's the right one. But it costs less for everybody, because when I get money through PayPal, like you guys, some of you choose to pay the fee, so it's like $1.85. Then they charge me another fee, so you send me $21.85. They take the $1.85 out, and then they charge me like another 50 cents, and then to transfer it to my account, then it costs me another 50 cents to $1.50. It is extremely expensive through PayPal. I prefer that people send me money through CashApp. It's a lot less regulated, I would say. And hey, Paranoid, glad to see you, man. I'm gonna leave this up for a day, so you could definitely watch it later on and catch up. But if you look on the interactive map, I'm on that 45-mile stint. Oh my God, I don't know what city I'm in. I didn't pay attention enough to actually look at what city I was in. But I'm at the $30 campground, because you'll see it. There's 130, there's 140, and then there's also a hotel here, like a Hampton Suites or something like that. I'm at the $30 campground. So this is that's where I'm at if you want to keep track. I'm probably not going to be, I got another 20 to 25 miles to jump back into the forest for another free campsite. So, that being said, tomorrow's going to be another grueling day, and, it is what it is. But hey, I'm glad you're here, Paranoid. I'm really glad you're here. So the only person we're missing right now is Thomas, and we've got the whole gang together for trail. Do we send it to him, but just put the post office address on the package? You'll send it when I'm having to give up on the fact of keeping my alias and not putting out my legal name. You will get my legal name. I will end up putting it out there, but what I'll end up doing is I will put it in the description of what address you want to send it to, Rachel. So that should help. No, I don't use bug spray. I try and doTERRA actually has something, I forget what it's called, but I love doing the natural route because my body just doesn't like the chemicals. So like doTERRA has a really good mosquito spray. They use fractionated coconut oil, so it easily absorbs and it keeps the mosquitoes off. But no, I don't. But if you guys want to know what I really need, like up front, I need to either get myself a tarp. But the thing is, I'm not sure exactly what size tarp I need. One of you guys, was it a rough? Yes, it was rough. My feet are screaming at me. I took like 30 seconds to sit down on one of those guardrails and then put the pressure back on my feet. I was almost in tears. That's how bad it was. Oh, hey, Toyota. All right. So Venezuela refugee and Santiago. Okay. So smoke shower is a way better than any bug dope. Yeah, that is true. But the thing is, you better put on a gas mask, otherwise that stuff's gonna make you you're gonna. Ugh. But yeah. Anyways, if you guys want to send me stuff, I'll just put it down in the description. For those that want to send me stuff, they will have the right information to send it to me. But for the most part, I really try and keep my trail name or my street name, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's a street name. For these guys, they call it a trail name. I see. Oh, a 10 by 10. Okay. Are you sure 10 by 10 is going to be good enough? Okay. I think those are like $10 at Walmart. And I could probably find them somewhere else. Like some of these gas stations may have one. So, okay, that's not bad. Okay, a 10 by 10, because I still have my stakes for my tent. One thing that you want to do for gear security, especially once you get on the road, is you want to separate your stuff. So, especially like with the bike, I would never bring in my front saddlebags. I always brought in my rear saddlebags because they were easier easier to take off. So I would leave, like, my tent was in my front saddlebags, but my spikes and anything else that I could separate. You know, you want to separate your stuff. That way, if somebody takes off with your stuff, they only got half of it, and it ain't going to be functional, and it's probably going to piss them off. It'll be funny. I mean, this is just a way for me to kind of, you know, have my own little, you know, F you back. So, but anyways, all right, guys. So it is getting close to, the sun is almost all the way down, and so it's going to get dark here real quick, which means my lighting is going to go down. But I have really enjoyed it. I miss doing these live streams with you guys. It's so much fun, and I think probably this is one of the more informative live streams that I've done, where I've been able to share quite a bit. But, you know, when you're out on trail, whether it be bike or you know, one of these hiking trails, there's a lot more to talk about than when you're stagnant in a city. And I'm really glad to have gotten away from Jacksonville, but I will tell you, not Jacksonville, getting away from Gainesville. But I will tell you that Gainesville taught me some things that I needed to know before I even got on the trail. You know, I had to get comfortable with taking a crap in the woods. I know for some people that may seem, you know, but I like indoor plumbing. I really enjoy indoor plumbing. So, you know, wrapping my mind around that, took me a minute. You know, being able to, you know, set up the tent and kind of deal with community and deal with gear security and all the little different nuances that I dealt with there, even though I was there for a lot longer than I wanted to be and than I should have been. I will tell you that it was a perfect proving ground for me to be able to learn and get reacclimated to the things that I needed to do. Because, I mean, it's been almost, I mean, let's see, the last time I was homeless was in 2016, but that was for maybe 60, 90 days. And then the last time before that I was homeless, I think I was like 30. So, or that would have been like 2000, no, actually no, it'd have been like 2013, okay? So, yes, it is, Tom. It is. Especially when, yeah, that is. And not only that, it's, you know, making sure that, like, you dig your hole. That is important. No matter what, dig your hole, bury your stuff. Nobody wants to lay or walk on your crap. Just do it. And I know I don't like doing it, but hey, I use the heel of my boot to dig a hole. Even though I don't have a tool, the heel of my boot does good enough to be able to dig a hole deep enough. But I'm also in soft sand to where I can do it, and I can cover it up, including your toilet paper, because nobody wants to see it, smell it, or be around it, especially when other campers come through. You know, I've heard stories of people that have accidentally set up their tent on somebody's crap pot or dug up somebody else's crap pot trying to make their own. It's funny. So look at this, guys. Look at how I think I've probably lost another 5 to 10 pounds on trail again. But I'm not eating right either. But that's my own fault. It's not because I don't have enough food. I have plenty of food. I'm just not eating it. To roughly filter who gets your info, you could create an email ad with name you don't mind giving out. No, that's the thing is when you address it, because when I show up to general delivery, I have to show them my ID. They want some proof of identification. That's the thing. So that's why I have to give my legal name, is because if I want to be able to pick up mail, because I can sit there and say Friar Tuck, and then how do I prove that I'm Friar Tuck other than that's been my alias for 15 years, other than the fact that I have a YouTube channel and stuff like that. But to be able to prove to them, it's a lot easier. Now, I might find out a different way to do it, and I'll be able to talk to them soon, because before I give out the general delivery address, I want to see if I can, I want to do a test delivery to begin with, which would be purchasing a tent from Amazon. But Paranoid has actually given me something to do, and I can't wait to get to McCord Air Force Base because I want to try that. That's a great idea. I almost thought about telling these guys if they gave me a free hotel room or gave me a hotel room for half price, I would do a review on this place. But the owners weren't here. They went shopping, so I couldn't do that. So anyways, that's one way to do it. But anyways, guys, if you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. If you have not hit that, your crap and plant a squash seed. That's funny. That's funny. Plant a squash seed. Yeah. No, that's probably the reason why I don't eat squash. I don't eat any squash, no zucchini, nothing like that. And that's probably the reason why. But don't forget to hit that bell notification. And you know, here's the thing. The live streams, the way that they're going to go moving forward until I get to a place where I'm static again, is whenever I get a chance, I get into an area where I can keep my phone charged, because I mean, it takes half my battery just to do one of these things. So, and I have to keep turning my phone off and on, so I keep checking the map, check my YouTube studio so I can respond to your comments, and so on and so forth. Plus, if I reach dead zones, it eats my battery within minutes. Like, you know, 2% upload to YouTube costs me 30% of my battery, and yeah, that's a lot. So, you know, it's just it is what it is. So, with that being said, don't forget to hit the bell notification. And I would love to see some of you guys come on over to Patreon. Over at Patreon, yes and no. I share on Facebook, but I'm not a social mediaite. I'm old enough to where that's kind of like outside of my realm, because I'm the last of Gen X, and the millennials try and lump me into them, and I'm like, no, I'm not a millennial. I mean, I may have a couple of things in common with you just because I was born about 3 years before your generation started, but no, I don't. Batteries, I'm not worried about, because I mean, I only need them for my headlamp. My headlamp is what I really need is I need to get me one of those battery chargers, because that was stolen, oh god, probably like November, because a lot of people wanted, they're like, oh man, I want a solar charger. But the thing is for me to get a replacement solar charger, so the mistake I made with the solar charger I have, and I updated it down there in the affiliate links, but you want something that's going to have like 6 panels on it. 1, 2, do not put it in direct sunlight, you will ruin it. I learned that one the hard way. The only way I could charge it was plugging it in. It took like 3 days to charge otherwise. So you want to do something that is going to be quick charging, which is going to be about 6 panels. That way, if you decide to take a 0 day or whatever, like, because about every 3rd day you need to charge your phone if you really don't use it, but occasionally to check some things, you know, you could probably get your phone charged on one of those batteries. It probably lasts you about a week on one of those the battery packs and stuff like that, if you're minimalist on how you use it. Now me, because I'm a YouTuber, I tend to use a lot more battery, and so I'm tied to it a little bit more. So need a bear bell. That's bears know you're on the way. Put on, wow. Okay, yeah, I'll be the dinner, huh? That'll be fun. So, but anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I am so glad to see you, and I will be jumping off or on whenever I get a chance to do a live stream, so just keep an eye out. If you miss it, I always leave it on till the next morning, so that way, you know, you have probably about 12 hours to see it. And if you miss it, well then, you know, you got to come over and be a Patreon subscriber to get the replays if you don't get it within that 12-hour period of time. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next live stream.